Why, hello, and happy Sunday, everybody. Sunday Funday talk time. Why not, right? It's been a little hectic. My voice is back in full force. I'm dying to talk. I want to say hi to Sir Sega. Ben is here. Adam is here. Rich is here. We got more people than that here as well. I believe Thor is here as well. Just wanted to sit down for a minute to talk. It's been so crazy since I came back. I haven't talked too much about a lot of things. One thing I meant to talk about on Friday was Old School Gamer Magazine. They're doing their Kickstarter again. Looks like they hit their goal, but I was going to talk about it before they hit their goal, but looks like they did reach their goal. Is my volume not good? I got Adam send me the volume is not good. You guys hear me okay? Low volume, eh? Let's see. I think that's why. Is that better? Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. I think this has to be by your mouth and not all the way up here. So I think that's what the problem is. Let's see if we do this a little bit better. Yeah, you kind of need the microphone in front of your mouth. Again, if you guys know anything about me, I always screw up audio at some point. It's just what I do. I am so excited to talk. This has got to be in front of your mouth, not beside your head. So there we go. So I think we solved that problem, which is good. So I was just saying really quickly here, and Adam's laughing. Hey, it's kind of what I do. So we had Kicking Old School this past Friday, which is so crazy. I totally forgot to talk about Old School Gamer. Thankfully, P-Dubs and Super Game Room dudes did talk about Old School Gamer Magazine. They did hit their goal. Looks like they have 297 backers, and they hit their $30,000 goal, and they beat it. But if you guys don't have it, you should think about still contributing to it. I do. It's a really good magazine. We got to keep these physical gaming magazines alive. Of course, you can do it just using it just online, but it's nice getting that thing in the mail, like the Good Days, a magazine came in the mail, and you got it here. Let's see, Pliskin's Run, I see you here. Thanks for joining. Robert, I never really, I think this past Friday was the first time I put my show up in advance to let people know we're doing a show. I generally don't do that, but I don't know. I just kind of do it when I feel like doing it. So we have Damn It, Deal With It. Question, will the Build-A-Cade be getting a redesign for the upcoming Pi 5 in the future? Okay, so a couple of things. And do I have it over here? Of course, I don't have it with me. Hold on one second.
I have all the stuff here, but I forgot the Build-A-Cade. So hold on, let me go grab my Build-A-Cade. Let's go grab the Build-A-Cade. Okay, coming back, kicking everything. I really got to get my basement in order. My basement is still a bit of a disaster. That's kind of what the show's gonna be about. It's kind of like a question and answer. So, at the Retro Gaming Expo, I did have my Star Trek, the Strategic Operations Simulator game set up, and I just printed this literally on shipping paper, like we write labels on shipping. I put a clear coat on it. That's all I did. But I have to reach out to Escape Pod. Escape Pod reached out to me. They came out to the show, and they want to make like decals for this and for the IRK controller. So I got to talk to them. But to answer your question, so one thing we did here, if you haven't guys didn't notice, we have a custom designed 4.3-inch screen that's going to be coming to the Build-A-Cade. Now, initially, we'll still be shipping it with the standard screen we do now, but we'll offer this as an option, an optional screen you can put in your machine. But right now, this is just a prototype. But if you do like the old school games like a Nintendo, Sega, all the arcade machines had a 4:3 aspect ratio, and that's what this is going to be. This is a custom designed for us screen, and it really looks really good. There's a couple things on the cable that we're still working out. Again, this is custom designed for us. I'm not too good on the quality of that cable, having them fix that. But that'll be something coming to Build-A-Cade. Now, as far as the Pi 5, the connectors of the Pi 5 should be pretty much identical to Pi 4. So there's no reason why the Pi 5 wouldn't work. It's just I know the Pi 5 does require a slightly larger amp. I think it wants 4 amps versus the Pi 4's 3 amps. So in theory, the Pi 5 should work in there. But why would you want a Pi 5 when you'll be soon able to get the GRS Viper? And we had this at the show as well. And this right now will be running Batacera. And being honest, it is not going to equal a Pi 5. I'm hoping people will show some tests where this should better a Pi 4. And this would be about $39.99 for this. And it does come with an RK3566, a gig of RAM. We do have a display port out here, HDMI out on it. But the cool thing about this is that the processor board and RAM board are, yes, this is the Viper. This is the Viper. So the processor and RAM board can be removed and replaced. So that's what we're kind of doing with this. You will save money by just replacing just that versus getting a whole board. And we're doing $39 for this. So even though this will not best a Pi 5, it should best a Pi 4. And we'll eventually have processor and RAM upgrades, which would, again, the RK 3566 and higher series, I think will still best a Pi 5 as we have other processors coming out. We also have an SD card slot, so you can load stuff on the SD card slot. And we do have 8 gigabytes of MMC storage, so you can actually load the OS and some games on here without doing anything else. So this will fit inside the Build-A-Cade. That's what it's designed for. Its design here is about the same size as a Pi 4, so Pi 5 as well, Pi 3. As far as that, we have 40 GPIO pins on here. And again, this is something I'm really going to be pushing for with the Build-A-Cade, and this will be in the IRcade as well. And this I had out at the show at the Cleveland Gaming Classic, and I have, aside from this one, there's 2 in the field of developers that are developing stuff for it. But I have a bunch more coming in. I'm hoping this coming week. So I have some people who work on Batacera builds and other builds. So this will be in the field for people who can make software builds for the Viper, and we'll be supporting other things. It's called R-Cade, which is another emulation front-end platform that'll be compatible with. So this will hopefully be out in the next before Christmas. I'm definitely hoping before Christmas, and I'm hoping this thing will really take off in the retro gaming community using this little Viper board. And again, you will be able to upgrade the CPU and RAM further on down the lines. But on its initial release, it will best the Pi 4, and the Pi 5 won't be out till January. So this should be the king of the hill for a short time. But I'm not going to lie, the Pi 5 will be probably 2 or 3 times more powerful than this, if it's 2 or 3 more times powerful than a Raspberry Pi 4. But that's okay. This will be upgradable. So you'll always be able to add additional things to it. Let me take a quick look here at the questions here real quick, and I'm kind of going through here. Sounds good. Awesome. Arcade File, I appreciate that. You make arcade products at fair prices. A big need in the home arcade space is a themed speaker grills. Okay, that's something we could look at. we have a couple projects still in the secret stage right now of things I want to do to enhance. And the speaker grill might actually fit along those lines, so we'll take a look into that. We have Thor. Let's see what do you say here. I mean, rearranging my 1/6 scale shells and reached the conclusion I need a cigarette machine to arrive right now. Well, that will be out from New Wave Toys for sure. And again, if you guys missed it, Shiloh and New Wave Toys and GRS and T-Sticks are in a partnership right now. We're working on a project together that'll be out in 2024. I hope early 2024, not get delayed. But I'm hoping that's just one step into multiple projects using my controls and our specialties with what's awesome about New Wave Toys. I think it's a killer relationship, and hopefully we'll be able to still deliver all that out to all of you guys over here. Thor is saying, oh, that deal with New Wave Toys, could we get a Build-A-Cage screens with that CRT FX 2.0? I don't know. I like it. If you guys have not seen the new Ghouls and Ghosts and Goblins from New Wave Toys, that new Screen FX 2.0, I think, is the sweet spot. I think it gives the illusion, at least, of a CRT. I think also the scan lines on them work really well. And the light reflecting on it is no different than a real CRT would have been. So I think they nailed it with that, and I would not mind that on the Build-A-Cage. But right now, I can't really say one way or the other. But maybe. We got some people talking about the Viper as well. What do we got over here? To die. So we have two to die for. That's Bobby Vu. Bobby Vu will be getting a Viper, just so you guys know. Bobby Vu is getting a Viper to work on his magic software builds for the Viper. So Bobby Vu, I've been promising him stuff for the longest time. I'm finally getting some stuff where I get out to him. So he'll be getting one. And probably also Keo Daikin as well should be getting a Viper. There'll be other people as well. But the thing about it is, doesn't matter how inexpensive and powerful something is, as we all know, if you don't have software support for it, it's really not going to matter. So we need to make sure we have all the developers out there working on this. And I was really excited yesterday on Twitter. Post over here again. I have my GRS Ikari stick. This will be coming out in November as well. And people keep asking, will this work with the Mister? Will this work with the Mister? Well, it does work limitedly right now with the Mister. But one of the Mister developers is going to make sure that this is fully set up to work with the Mister. So you'll be able to use it in MAME. And if you have a Mister, that'll work as well on there. And I'm really excited. I'm more so excited when developers say we want to support your stuff. And having Mister support for the GRS Ikari Warrior Stick is huge. And I'm hoping that'll continue with my Sinden Light Gun, maybe my GRS Star Wars Yoke, and other controllers. I would really like all that stuff to be integrated really well with Mister, MAME, and so forth. So I think 2024 might actually be my year. Maybe the downfall of John D. Arcade 1-Up tilted the balance in my favor a little bit. I don't want to be too cocky about it, but I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of glad he's gone. I'm not going to lie. I'm glad he's gone. And I'm glad that, again, maybe Arcade 1-Up will do better right now, but for me, that's in the rearview mirror. I'm not dealing with Arcade 1-Up anymore. Onto bigger and better things. I have some partnerships right now that hopefully will continue in the home and arcade space, that in 2024 we can sort of let you guys know what's going on behind the scenes. But it's been a long, hard road, and I appreciate every one of you guys not only sticking by me with the Stand with Glenn thing. That was pretty cool to me. But just you guys with the products, you guys buy the products, you guys let me know if something's not good or is good. And for the most part, I think everyone's been telling me things have been really good. So I'm happy and excited about that. So I really love all you guys about that. Another thing, I just came back from Glenn Baisley's house. Who's a friend of mine. He actually worked on the Build-A-Cage video. But you guys, I've been showing this off for a while, which is the GRS Sinden shotgun. If I get it on the picture here. If I go all the way back. So this will work with a PC. It works with Pi. It works with the Viper. It actually works even on the Build-A-Cage. It's true. The Build-A-Cage with a Viper has native support for Batocera 3.7, and 3.7 supports Sinden light guns. And so you can actually play this, and I have, because I'm nuts, I actually played this on my Build-A-Cage. I had Alien 3 going, and I was playing this on my Build-A-Cage on the small screen, but remember, it has HDMI out. So I was doing it on the small screen. As I was going to the small screen, I went up to my projector screen, went back to the small screen. So you can't do that with an IR gun. You can't go from screen to screen to screen. It's just not going to work. But the reason I was at Glenn Baisley's house is we needed to make sure that it worked with Big Buck Hunter, and that required some different firmware upgrades. But it's more than that because on the front of those Big Buck Hunters, I had the cable here. What did I do with the cable? I put stuff down, and I lose stuff all the time. But there is a what did I do with it? Oh my lord! I put stuff down all over the place, and I lose it. Is it over here? I must have left it upstairs. Son of a gun. So when you connect your Sinden Lycon to the Big Buck Hunter, it goes on the front. It's almost like an Xbox controller connector. So our initial ones didn't work. So this would have worked only if you opened up your Big Buck Hunter and plugged this into the USB ports in the back. And no one's going to want to do that. You want it to be easy. So we went back to the drawing board. We took a look at the cable connector. So this will go into a short cable, something like this. This is not it, but it's something like this. So this would plug into the USB on my gun, and then this would plug into the Big Buck Hunter on the front, using that special little Xbox connector. I can't believe I thought I had everything set over here, but I can't find it. So you'll be able to plug in your gun 1, gun 2, and your Big Buck Hunter. I'm still trying to work out again, working with the other arcade one-ups, but they have done things to make my gun again incompatible. It seems to be something that they do. They go out of their way to make my stuff incompatible with them, and that's why I know Travis is a friend of mine. Don't get me wrong, Travis is my friend, but I don't like hearing that. You want the ownership, and they're a different company. They're the same company. They're doing the same shady stuff, in my opinion. I haven't seen anything different from them. But I did get a super chat here from P Dubs. Let me read this real quick. Glenn, I need a clip for your YouTube short. Can you ask from the Army of Darkness? I need you to hold the shotgun over your head and say, "This is my booms." I could do that for you, P Dubs. I will. Do you want that in my leather jacket? What type of jacket should I have? I'll just look up a picture. I'll figure that out. But I will send you a clip, and I appreciate it. I always appreciate Super Game Room dudes, P Dubs, Carl, Michael B. Not so much nostalgia. Nostalgia. No, I'm just kidding. Nostalgia too. Busting balls. But I really appreciate those guys advertising a little bit because, to be quite honest, my channel, I have 10,000 subs. And I'm so thankful for those 10,000 subs I am. But I need to get the word out more. One of the things I'll never forget that Scott Baccarat said to me, and it really stung me. Scott tells me, Glenn, you make the best stuff, but only the community knows that. And that's kind of what I was trying to partner with RK, wanted to try and get the word out. So that kind of stung. But I am going to prove Scott wrong. I'm going to prove to Scott that Glenn's Retro Show, GRS products, and T-Sticks are going to make it to the big leagues. And we're going to be out there with the best arcade controls and products for the home and the arcade community. And again, I like Scott, but that was kind of a low blow to me when he said to me, you make good stuff, but no one knows it but the community. And I think he's wrong. I think some people know, but it never hurts to get the word out some more. So I'm very thankful to John Hancock, who just did a video on my controller, Metal Pixel. And again, these are friends of mine. I'm not going to lie. These are also my friends. Wagner's Tech Talk, Gen X Grown Up, Twisted Gaming. All these guys have been doing videos for me, and I do appreciate all that because I want, in order to make new stuff, I do need to sell the old stuff. And if anyone knows me, the price is incredibly low. I'm not making a lot. So when people say, well, you're making all this money, I am not making a lot of money. And pretty much everything we make gets rolled into the next product line. And we have some other great things in the product line once we get the Ikari stick out, the Viper out, the shotgun out, the new Build-A-Cage screen out. Those are just starting of the things I want to do. And there's other things I want to do as well, like people want a Paperboy controller, right? Want to play Paperboy with a controller. Now, we have most of the technology in there now with the GRS flight yoke, the Star Wars yoke, right? So we have to simply modify that to be handlebars. But to do that, the company I'm with, they need to see, it's why it's worth their while. So I may have to do a Kickstarter for some of these things. I don't know. But again, I'm going to say every few minutes, do go over to Kickstarter. And if you haven't, throw some money towards Old School Game Magazine. We've got to keep these magazines going. And I'm going to pause for a second, look in the chat here. So many things coming down here. Looks like P-Dubs is having a good weekend, and I'll do a Negan. I could do that. You know what's funny? Negan was supposed to make an appearance at the Cleveland Gaming Classic, but from the car to walking in the building, I lost my white shirt. I had my leather jacket, but I lost my white shirt. So there could be no Negan at the show. But I was so busy anyway. There's really no time for that. So I'm just looking in the chat right now for any questions. Yeah, see, Tony C, he wants a paperboy handlebar controller. I want to do that. And I also want something else. I want to make a thing like for Battlezone, right? Definitely 2 sticks, maybe some Tron style, I don't know, but buttons on it in some way, some type of tank sticks for tank style games, um, something along those lines. Those type of controllers are very niche, even more niche than this. And I still see a lot of people saying, this sounds cool, but I don't want the cardboard box. It makes garbage. Blah, blah. People don't even understand. The box was a box. The box is a shipping box. It was going to ship out anyway in a box. I simply said, if we're going to send out a box, why not make the box usable if someone wants to do it? You could put this controller in anything. You can make your own controller housing. You could put it in your own arcade machine. But some people may say, you know what? I don't have those things, and I have a box here. Rather than throw away the box, you could have a player 1 and a player 2. And that was the whole thought process behind it. I'm just trying to make some ideas and do things a little bit differently than just status quo of, you get it and you kind of throw it away and that's it. So hopefully we're going to be doing this also with my spinners, my regular spinners and trackballs. Why not turn that box into something you can use if you don't have the ability to do it? Why not? I know Patrick P-Dubs here. He hasn't played it yet. He's going to do it. Make sure, I think, the end of this month, people, if I'm not wrong, or it's already October 1st. So the 40th anniversary SNK collection may no longer be free on Amazon Prime, but it could be. So you might want to check that out. I think it was ending soon, and today is October 1st, so I don't know if that's still out there, but hopefully it is. I'm gonna try to look down in the chat here again. Hello, Polo Man. Good for joining. Carlo's here as well. Trump or die. Welcome. So 3/4-inch cabinets. Here's the thing. Right now, here's the big picture. Right. The whole thing about GRS products is arcade quality without that arcade price, and we're able to do that right now. Now, if I was to make my own cabinet, there comes a lot of things into play. First of all, someone's gonna have to carry it. I mean, we could ship it right from the warehouse, but there are people who do that now, and shipping costs are expensive. They could be, a couple $100 to ship out a cabinet. So we don't want to do that. And there are people already who make really good cabinets as it is. It's better for me to partner with someone who makes good cabinets, who makes really good cabinets, partner with that person and offer our controls for those cabinets and work in a partnership. And I've never had a problem working with anyone. At the end of my videos, I have all the kind of partners. We have, 99 Lives Arcade. We have, all these other companies in here, Tulsa Arcades, all these different companies that make good stuff. I'm not looking to step on anyone's toes. I'm trying to help build everyone up. But, if there is a company that builds really good cabinets and want to partner up with it, that's a possibility. Maybe I'll come down the road, and maybe it is coming down the road. But for me to build a cabinet myself, there's a lot of things that, from a monetary standpoint, an issue. Mostly shipping and sending them out. And that's why I always said when Arcade One Up was selling these things on sale for $200, $150, $75, it's worth it just for the cabinet. You may not like the game, you may not like the screen, you may not like the controls, but if you're not good with woodworking, I'm not good with woodworking. I'm good with my 3D printer, sometimes, but I'm not very good with woodworking. So if you can get an Arcade One Up cabinet and make that your starting point to build yourself a cabinet, get new artwork from somebody, get controls from somebody, that's where they come in good. I still think it was a mistake for. I'm not going to say this because something we're doing, and I don't want to give anyone a heads up on this. So I'm going to shut my mouth before I give away the baby with the bathwater. Then we have P-Dubs here. He doesn't have his gold, but he can play it on my other multicade. So yeah, P-Dubs was kind enough to donate his gold cabinet to. Oh my God, I can't think of it now. Mystery Encoder and his team, so they could try and get that working. His Mystery Encoder or Team Encoder board, which I still don't think is working quite yet. And it's kind of funny, the gold. Everyone wanted the gold. Everyone wanted the gold. Everyone wanted the gold, but it turns out it's the legacy cabinet that's actually the better cabinet, at least right now. Just because you cannot back up your stuff, you can't load new things. And right now, I have here too. So nothing I wanted to talk about was this. So we are still on target. This is not my new one. This is my previous prototype. We have, the iArcade control panel. So this is in production right now. So we've made a couple of changes to it. I posted a screenshot not too long ago on my channel showing, the USB ports are on the front here, and we changed the. This is not really letting. We put nice icons up here. So this board here, you see, there's an awful lot of stuff under this board, and this is going for about $150, $160. We have a lot of stuff on here in this board, and for everyone who pre-ordered, I want to thank you for that, and I think you'll be very happy with it. And again, the joysticks themselves, these can be removed easily, so it doesn't interfere with your playing with spinners or the trackball. These can come out. We include the ball tops, we include the bat tops on them as well, the gate changers. You can see this one doesn't have it. We have the 4 to 8-way button right here. Over here would be the Viper or the arcade board. And this will work on the gold, and it will work in the legacy cabinet. So you will be able to go between the Viper and the arcade motherboard with my control deck. And if you have the team encoder in the legacy unit, it works with that. There isn't one yet for the gold. And this thing's heavy. I'll put this thing down. This thing is heavy. But we have an awful lot of tech in here. So people say, $150 for that? Where are you going to find anywhere 2 high-quality joysticks with bat and ball tops included that are, I would say, comparable to Sanwa. I would even say better because of mine, but they are Sanwa compatible joysticks. 2 high-quality Jira spinners, gate switches for both that could be automated or done manually, volcano buttons on there, an illuminated trackball with 7 different colors, mounting points, USB ports, all these things built to switch between the two, including the wood, all mounted here for about $160. No one, buttons, high quality gold coated buttons, no one's going to get that deal out here. We do what we can to make sure it's inexpensive, easy to install, and to use. That's our primarily goal. And let me look back here in the chat real quick. Steps Gaming, when is mine coming? The arcade control boards is still on schedule for November. So another month. I can't say if it's November 1st or November 30th or 28th. It's in there somewhere. But we're shooting for November. And then after that, we will have the Viper board. And again, the basic technology you would need to make this work and switch between the two in the arcade is already in the machine. But when this comes out, there is a complete logic board. So again, we're going to do this still for about $50. This is going to go for $39 itself. So in addition to this, we had to create our own logic board because we need to take the display, we need to take the controls, we need to take the audio, the fantastic audio in both these cabinets, and be able to switch them on the fly. 1, 2, power on, 1, 2, back and forth, back and forth. So that's something else we're also including. Remember that. So it's not just throwing in a board and that's it. We have to have this whole other technology, the daughter board, to be able to power both, to switch between the two, and that's going to be included as well. Now, I think we made a total of, I want to say it was like 700 pre-orders happened. So there's about 70 additional ones up for grabs. Might be a little bit less than that because we have a couple we sent out to some people already. So maybe 60, let's say. Now, with that being said, that'll probably be it, unless people are saying they really want it again. We could do another pre-order for another 2 or 3, 4, 500, and then we build them again. Because obviously we know how to do it. Once we have the daughter board done and the Viper done, then we could probably ship it P-Dub 700. So he even knows better than I do about what I have. But so I'm not saying there won't be any additional pre-orders. Maybe we'll, sometime in 2024 say, listen, we'll do another pre-order. We have to hit 500 again. If we hit that 500, we'll make more boards to go out to people with the iArcades. We're totally fine with that. We're here to help people in the community. I'm trying to think what anything else I'm going to make sure I'll talk about here. Just that again, I was really excited to see that developer with the Mister getting the Ikari stick working on there. I have a video that'll be coming up soon. I didn't bring it downstairs; it's too big. One of my business partners is the X Arcade tank stick. And I don't know if any of you guys have seen that thing. The thing is massive. The thing is huge. It is built like a tank. It's very, very heavy. But I'm not going to do a review on that. There's plenty of reviews on the X Arcade tank stick. What I am going to be doing is I'm going to be turning that into a 2-player Ikari Warriors controller. So I'm going to take the Sanwa joysticks out of those 2 units, and I'm going to be putting in 2 of my Ikari Warrior sticks in there, wiring it up. And I'll be showing you a way, because when you put the joystick in to fit in the X Arcade, we need to rotate it. So people need to also remember, we also have a very massive software application they could download for the Ikari Warrior stick. We could change all kinds of things, including the way the joystick sits in it. So if this is how the joystick should sit, and this is like the arrows north, if you put it in this way, now when you plug it in, when you press up on the joystick, you're really going to be going right. on the screen. So software application will let you change the directions of that joystick. You can change so many different things on the Ikari stick. I have to reach out to my team and see what the update is on the firmware update for the very smooth. We're using the free spinner, which is nope, that's 16. That's 8. Third time's a charm. This is my free spin right here. If that comes up, if you can see it. So right now, this will spin, and it spins well. I mean, when you spin this, it spins for a second or two. It's not like it just stops. We have good ball bearings in there. It's not weighted, but it still will spin. So if you're doing Tempest and spin it, it will go around a few times. But right now, it's still going to step, meaning it's not going to be smooth. It's going to go from here to here to here to here because the joystick's firmware is saying when you turn this, go click, click, click. So it'll be a firmware update. When you spin this, it'll be smooth as glass going back and forth. So we'll add that on there. Now, I know a lot of people wanted to work with the Switch. Now, I do have a Switch, but I don't have the SNK 40th Anniversary Edition for it. I may have to go, maybe I'll look on eBay, see if I get a copy. People are asking for the Ikari stick to work on that or the Xbox. So we'll see if we can do that as well. I would like to see people want it in the Switch. And apparently the joystick works in the Switch, but nothing else does. And it doesn't seem to be able to map the buttons properly. So again, we can fix it in firmware or potentially even just my software application. But I won't know until I get a copy of the game for my son's Switch. It was been sitting in the box since the day I got it. Steps Gaming. Would it be easy to put a Ikari Warrior stick on the original iArcade deck? You know what? I'll tell you this. So if you see my videos again, you know I already have my Tron sticks. I have both my gold and my Legacy cabinet. I already put in my Tron sticks, and I put in the gate switches for the Tron sticks, so they do fit in there. Just, but it does fit. Now I know, like a Pop Brad, and some people got the older rotator that was for the Sandwalk compatible, so it used more depth. But on the Tron stick, the servo gets inverted. So it's actually up. It doesn't take up a lot of space. So in theory steps, it should work. You should be able to put the Ikari stick in there. And I will say that the part that you lock your deck in, you have to cut a little piece off or cut a piece off of the joystick. It's just the way it sits in there. But you can fit them in. So in theory, yeah, you should be able to put the Ikari Warrior stick in there. And you can change it firmware which direction's up and down. And it should fit height-wise. It should fit. And in theory, the gate switcher should fit. Now, the gate switcher that'll be with the stick we're shipping out is going to be a Sandwalk compatible. So it would not be the proper gate switcher to use on either the Tron stick or the Ikari stick. It's a different gate switcher. I think it's like $12 on my site. But you'll have the main board already. So that would work in there already. Hey, Glenn, would you pit a banana joystick for nostalgia? You know, we could do that. We could do that. I really liked how they had the food fight, the banana stick on there. So that's something we possibly could do. Trying to think of any of the questions or things I wanted to talk about. I'm just looking in here. I will say that as far as I know, the shotgun, I'm still hoping will be out in time for Christmas. We worked out the biggest problem with that one was that we had to import the technology from England. Sindin's in England, and to import into China is very expensive if it's not done a certain way. You gotta, I don't know how they word it, but it's gotta be worded a certain way. Otherwise, it would have been very expensive to import these things in. So we got that worked out. So now we're shipping them in. We'll start manufacturing. And again, I know P Dubs and Steph's Gaming is in the chat, and some other people who were at the Cleveland Gaming Classic, who used the shotgun, and they all raved about this gun. And this is just, the first gun. This was really designed for big buck hunter. I was kind of hoping this would have been out a long time ago. But again, getting parts, getting the stuff worked out, China to have this sent in was a problem, but that's been worked out. But everyone's really happy with this gun, its weight, and how it works. And I am too. I'm dying to make myself a Build-A-Cade big bug hunter and playing this on my little Build-A-Cade. So that's going to be cool. But we're making other guns later on down the road. Again, that may require, again, a Kickstarter, only because molded plastic is just so expensive. It costs the molds for doing ABS plastic can cost between $20,000 and $50,000, which blows my mind that even today injected molded plastic costs that much. So if people want an Uzi or people want some other type of gun, I'll definitely take the requests, and it may involve a Kickstarter just to get the molds done. The technology is already done. I am hoping down the road that GRS and T-Sticks will improve the Sinden technology, streamline it, improve the cameras and other things. He's doing a great job, so don't let me say that we're any better than him. But he's trying to keep his costs down. He's kind of building them by hand, where we can manufacture these on a high scale and get better cameras at a lower cost than he may be able to have. But I would like to. One of the things I tried doing myself is I could do this in the house. I can go from my build-a-case screen to a 22-inch monitor to a 42-inch monitor to an 80-inch projector screen inside, right? Because the camera works fine. Now I can go outside with my projector. You know, people have seen me play like Space Invaders and Tempest on the House, and I took this outside. I tried twice, both in the day and at night, and the camera just cannot work with a screen as big as the side of a house. Well, I wanted to. I want people to take this outside, throw a projector on the house, and play, House of the Dead 2 or something on the side of the house with the Jira Sinden shotgun or pistols. That's my goal. And I also want that kickback. I know Steps kind of like the kickback on there, but I also want maybe to have a super kickback like you're doing on Magnum. Like bang. But that my team may say no because people may get hurt with that. So, yeah, right. A 40-watt plasma rifle, please. Exactly. For Terminator. Absolutely. A Magnum gun. So I've even thought of a thing, and again, I don't. This is me just talking. Please do not take this as gospel. But even to make the gun modular, where maybe we can sell different parts, and you can take the light gun part out and just jack it into a gun and go. I mean, just make different shells versus having to purchase whole guns. I don't know if that's even possible. And my team go make say, Glenn, you're friggin' nuts. No way. But they said the same thing about a couple other things, and well, here we are. Or here we are. Or here we are. So sometimes the crazy aren't so crazy. Sometimes. But we'll have to wait and see how that plans out. But I'm hopeful for some other things. Modular is good. Again, people just don't have money to constantly buy the same thing over and over again. And I know some people said, Glenn, why'd you design this way with the processor? Why not just buy a whole new board for like $40? Well, if we can make this with a processor board is maybe $15, and you already got this, and you only got the one machine, why waste all this? You can still buy the whole board if you want, but I try to give people options. Maybe you don't need to buy the whole board. Maybe you just need a game to run with more performance, and you don't have the $40. We got $15. Yeah, I can do $15 and get a faster processor, or more RAM, or whatever. We're trying to save any way that we can, to be quite honest. And everyone is not made of money, especially today when you go to the supermarket and you buy eggs and milk, and that's like $30. To me, that's insane. And I'm always trying to drive the prices down, but keep the quality there. Even our Star Wars yoke, I think out of all the yokes we have sold, out of all the Star Wars yoke, I can't say that. Well, John D's not with them anymore. The GRS Star Wars yoke that I have. Ha! I'm going to say it. We've only had one actual failure on that, and the failure was the turning radius. The one person, I forget her name, but she was getting to rack up some incredible scores with it. But you saw her playing the game, man. She was literally beating the hell out of it. And so we improved it. So that was one. And we haven't had any failures of that since. Our spinners, I've never had a spinner come back as being defective. Not one of mine. Now, there's a couple called eStats, and there's some clones out there that look identical to mine, except the motherboard says eStats, that have gone bad. And people go on my, leave a comment for my stuff saying it was bad defective. When you look, it's an eStats. It's not mine. It's not T-Sticks. We've never had a failure on our push-pull spinners. Not the bearings, not the control board, never. The trackball, some people have said on a couple of them that they were a little bit loud because they're hollow inside. So we've improved that. But we've never had any actual failures on them. Sometimes maybe when they got it in shipping, a ball bearing had come off, and we showed them how to go back in there and fix that. And we made improvements to make sure that doesn't happen. We improved the shipping foam. So, that's the only thing that gets me when people say, Glenn's some bad products out there. It's not my stuff. It's the clones. And I've gone on eBay and I've gone on Amazon and I reported each and every one of them, and they don't care. So it's like, okay. But if you buy them, I can't I can't be held responsible for someone's clone not doing as well as mine. It's just unfortunate, but that's how it happens. Uh, Bobby Boo, yeah, like I said, he's going to have a Viper. I'm hoping next maybe a week to 10 days. Maybe Bobby will have it. And he's got Bhattacharya. He likes Bhattacharya too, and he can go nuts on it. And I'm dying to see. I got his last build that he did. And it was quite good. I think I have a 2 terabyte Bobby Vu build, and it is quite good. Um, but I would also like to see other people just putting out their images out there and so forth. Again, I can't do it. I got Adventures of Robbie Roto, which which is fine for me on there. I still like that game, but that the big thing right now is just to make sure we get these products out there and you guys are satisfied and happy with it. And again, shipping boxes. Some people have been great about it. Some people are saying it's. I'm not paying $70 for something I got to put together myself. Try and find an Ikari stick of that quality that does everything it does anywhere close to $70. First of all, you're not going to find one because no one else makes one. But the original stick will cost you more than that alone. It's just for the stick, and it only works in the arcade. We're working with so many other things outside there. Same with my flight yoke. For $200, it works in the arcade machine. No one does that. Well, that's not true. They do. Someone, Allen One makes one, but you're not going to get one that works in the arcade. That works in the arcade one up. It's USB. It's an analog joystick. It's a mouse. You can invert everything for $199, and sometimes it goes on sale for like $160. The Allen One is more than double the price, and it's got aluminum gears, but still potentiometers. Doesn't center like mine does. His kind of like the arcade kind of doesn't center. And if on it USB, it's another $100. So no one could touch the value of what we put out there, and that's what I'm trying to do. Um, I'll shut up about that. Let me take a look at the chat here. I'm not going to go too much longer because I really just want to touch base on, oh, I want to show this though. So when I was at the Cleveland Gaming Classic, once again, I stayed with a guy named Tim. Tim and his family, they were awesome. He gave me this. It's a little Coke. He knows I like Coca-Cola. He sent me this little pinball machine here, and it does actually play pinball. It's got a little electronic sound effects. You put, I think, 3 AA batteries in it. But this is a collectible, and he gave this to me. And Tim, I still, he he was just amazing. I stayed with him and his family. He took me out to all these restaurants. I met his family. Stephen Haywood was with us as well. Shiloh and P-Dubs all met Tim. Very nice guy. And, he does a lot of stuff for the community as well. He volunteers a lot of his time out there. So it was that was a really cool thing. Um, and these things, I'm going to show this one more time. So I did show this the other day on Friday. And I'm trying so hard to not put a bad review in for this because it has such potential. But man, it just really doesn't work at the advertising. Can't get out of the box. Come on, get out of the box. So these things right here. These are. I was so hopeful for this. These are augmented reality glasses. So I know they keep saying they're stylish. It's really not stylish. It's not. But if you tell people these are augmented reality glasses, you may say, oh, okay, I'll put up with how they look. It's got a color camera over here. It's got a black and white camera over here. It's got Android built in. It's got a processor built in. It's got RAM built in. It's got two 640 by 480 screens built into here. So I can see stuff. You can't see them, which is kind of neat. You don't see the screens, but I see them. But you really can't do a lot with it. I mean, if you look on the Kickstarter, they show people using ChatGPT. They show people reading their emails and scrolling through those. They show people doing navigation on here. They show them connecting to their phone and doing stuff. So far, I haven't really seen any of that working. There is YouTube on here, and there is TikTok on here. But unless you pick whatever's on the screen already to search, you can't like talk to it and say search for a show, search for Super Gamer Dudes, and you can't type because the letters are so tiny. It's a 640 480 screen. They didn't enlarge the text. You can't see what you're typing. So that's not going to work. And then when you try to connect to your phone, it's not sharing the screen, but at least I'm still working on it. It's still not working right. I know Wagner, but Wagner's Tech Talk, he looked at version 1 of these. These are the INMO glasses. And I was really stoked about it because I do like my Oculus. I'm like, this would be cool. I can drive around. I can record. I mean, this is a touch screen here. I can go left to right. I can raise and lower volume or raise and lower the brightness. I can do stuff over here as well. And you can tap it to do all kinds of things. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can just use it for the video camera. So I put it the video camera on, and they claim about 5 hours of time. The best I'm getting is about 40 minutes recording video. 40 minutes, and from full charge, it's done. I'm not getting anywhere near 5 hours. But I said, oh, okay, if I'm doing a video and I'm doing like a New Wave Toys and I'm looking at it, you guys get a point of view. But even with that, the quality of the camera is just not very good. It's like looking at a cell phone from like 10 years ago. A lot of artifacting in it. But in any case, I'm still trying to give us a fair shake. I really want this thing to kind of work, but so far it's just really not living up to the expectations that they had in the Kickstarter. Unfortunately. Let's see what we have over here. Put this over here. So I'm going to open up again. I'm looking back at the chat. I know I was rambling on. So I'm going to look at the chat, and if you guys have any questions before I end the stream, I'll answer any questions I can. Am I getting the Quest 3? Not just yet. I've only got the Oculus 2. I've had it maybe 6 months, and I got it through my job. My job has a thing called Bravo Points. If you do a good job, and people can send you some points. And I got enough points to get the Oculus 2, so I bought it. And I like it. I absolutely love the Pirate DX that came with it. The golf game sucks. I hate the golf game, but the Pirate DX game was good. And I love playing was it the Darth Vader game? Vader Immortal. I love playing that game. I play it a lot, and I enjoy those two. I haven't really gotten anything outside of that. A weird thing, they had a sale on the Iron Man one, and I put the code in, and I got the Iron Man game for like $14. I'm like, great. It was downloading. It came out the next morning. It was gone. They took it out of my store, and they refunded it. I don't know why they did that, so I don't have that game. But the Quest 3 looks interesting, but I'm not ready to jump. I'm having a good time right now with the 2, and I was really hoping that this sucker would kind of flip that bill for the the augmented reality part, but this is so far no go. But I'm still trying to give it a fair shake, keeping an open mind on that. Did you get the Star Wars VR pinball? No. I will go in the store and take a look at that. I think someone else mentioned it. I'm not sure if it was you, Thor. Someone mentioned it before. If he did, I'm sorry. I have to take a look at that. So Jeremy Simpson just said he just bought my yoke to replace his flaky Allen 1. So again, nothing against the Allen 1. The Allen 1 was a recreation of the arcade one. One of the big things they changed was they changed the nylon gears for aluminum, but it was still based on that. Mine is all new technology. It's Hall effect technology. It's got additional functions. So I do hope, Jeremy, that you find that my yoke is superior for the gameplay goes, and it lasts a lot longer. So far, like I said, I haven't had anything come back from anyone with a warranty need on any of those, and pretty much any of the products. So I hope you're very happy with it. I am. So Thor saying he's kind of there, maybe, but the color pass through for the AR is intriguing. It was kind of neat. Like I said, when I was driving a car, which again may or may not be the smart thing to do, but you can see through it. You can change how dark the screen is. I was just using it really for like a dash cam, basically is what I was using it for. But I only got about 30 minutes out of it. My ride was only like 35 minutes. It literally died with like 5 minutes left. That was 100% charge, recording the whole time. And then looking at the video feed, I mean, I wouldn't say it's acceptable. It's supposed to be 1080p, but there was a very low, I guess, bit rate. There was a lot of artifacting in it, which didn't fare well for me so far. Jeremy's asking, what games can you play using your new T-Sticks joystick? Besides Ikari Wars. So this, first of all, it can be played with any game. It's a regular joystick. You can play fighting games with it. But I've been playing, it's heavy barrel. I play a lot of Frontline. That's a game that I really enjoy. You can play Time Soldiers. If you actually do a search on, maybe we'll do it right now. If we're going to do a search on Ikari Wars games, there's probably a good 15 or 20, but there's more because you can play Breakout. You can play other games as well, other than just Ikari Wars with a joystick. You can use a spinner. And the thing to remember, it's also a push-pull. So I keep telling people, I keep playing Donkey Kong. I use left and right, but when I go to the ladder, I press down or pull up on the joystick. It just adds a different level of gameplay on it. Scott B is asking, when is GRS shotgun be up for sale? I'm hoping before Christmas time. I'd like to get it in for the Christmas time rush if I can. That's my hope. Ikari Warriors style games. Let's see here. Someone did have a whole list, and I had a list myself. But I keep saying games like Ikari Warriors. Let's see what here. 50 games. Let's see here. I'm not sure if he's actually using the stick. These are the games just like it. No, we don't want to do that. Ikari Warriors style games that used. I want to say rotary controller, spin controller. Here we go. Boom. Boop. Okay, so here I'll put this down in the chat. There's looks like quite a few. So I'm going to put this in the chat so you guys can see it as well. So here's a list of games that were compatible with the arcade games controller. There's quite a bit. Put this in the chat. Boom. All right. Wow. I well exceeded how many I could put. I guess I can't put that in the chat. We do a couple at a time. Let's see if I can put these in here. Will this let me put this in? No, I still went too far. Break that in half. Try this. Yes. Okay, we'll put that in. Put that in. So these are some games. Oh, I still can't put this through, huh? Still too many. What if we go right to here? Cut that out. And I am blind, everyone. There. So those are some games you could definitely play with the stick, but not limited to it at all. Because, people are not going to be playing Breakout with that type of controller because it has clicks. But mine gives you a free spin. You can play Arkanoid. You can play Breakout. You can play Warlords. You can play Forgotten Worlds, which is one of the things that on the Mister, the developer's going to make sure it works. You can play Frontline. Now, I'm sorry, Forgotten Worlds actually used a joystick and a separate spinner. But again, I'm trying to give you guys extra value here. You can have a spinner and a joystick as well. You can play Discs of Tron. You can play Tron with the free spin top on it. Allie, yeah. So I'm hoping before Christmas time, the boomstick, the shotgun, the Jura shotgun. I am hoping it'll be available before Christmas time. Again, I wish it would have been out sooner, but there was a lot of things we had to get between shipping between England and China. So hopefully that takes care of that. But I'm happy. We did a lot of testing with it. If you guys have the Big Buck Hunter. Now, the one thing we did notice, we tried out today, which we didn't try out before. Obviously, the Big Buck Hunter lets you store the game, the rifles in there. It just fits. I mean, it fits tight. So people may want to file out a little bit of the opening to put this in because my gun is a little bit larger, and of course, it's not squishy. There's nothing on this thing that's squishy. But it will fit on there. And of course, you can then disconnect it from your Big Buck Hunter, plug it into your PC, plug it into your Pi, plug it into your Viper, and play Leica games on that as well. So one last round. Does anyone have any questions they want to ask I have not answered? If not, I'm going to let you guys have your Sunday back, and I'm going to try and go outside and get some fresh air because it is nice out. And I've been down in the dungeon a little bit too long today. So I'll give you guys a minute. Again, I appreciate you guys coming in on a Sunday afternoon. You guys are great. You guys really always back me up, and I can't thank you guys enough. But also try and show some love still for Old School Gamer Magazine. There are a good bunch of guys over there. They did hit their goal, which is awesome. I want to thank P-Dubs and Super Gamer Dudes because I totally forgot Friday. I told them I was going to mention it, and I totally forgot to mention it. But I'm going to have them on, I believe, this coming Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check the date here. So Old School Gamer, I think will be on, oh my God, Friday the 6th. Yes. We have a Friday the 13th coming up this month, too, in October. Friday the 13th of October. That's cool. But Friday the 6th, Old School Gamer Magazine will be on Kicking It Old School. But it looks like they did hit their goal, thank goodness. I know he was worried there for a while. I think they were around 10,000. So maybe Super Gamer Dudes kicked them over the top of the line here. Oh, Papa Brad, you're joining so late. So the control panel, November. We're still going for November. and I'm hoping December for the Viper add-on for that control panel. So again, I want to thank all you guys for joining. I really appreciate you guys. And most of anything, I just appreciate your support. I mean, I see you guys in comments all over the place. For me, if someone says something, you guys are like, Glenn stuff is good. Glenn's an honest guy, and that was the big thing at the Cleveland Gaming Classic that got me more than anything. So many people walking up to me and say, you are who you are in real life. You are on the show, and I guess that was supposed to be good. So I try to be that way, and I'm just very thankful for all of you guys out there, and we'll be back obviously this Friday with Kicking Old School. I'll probably get another video out. I have a couple. One being these glasses. I'll get a video out on that. I will get a video out on the 4.3 screen in the Build-A-Cade, but I think first I have to get out the X Arcade using the Ikari Warriors sticks. And again, if you guys pre-order this, and this should be shipping in November as well, if not a little bit sooner. But this has just gotten such good reviews from everyone. I'm very thankful. We put so much work into this little guy. And the beautiful thing about this is it is firmware upgradable. So hopefully we get the Switch working on this, maybe the Xbox, PlayStation, wherever the game is on there, because I'm really proud of this, and I'm really thankful they took the idea for the box. And again, people saying it's cardboard, but you got to feel it. It's not a cheap, flimsy cardboard. It's a really sturdy cardboard. Of course, I think Papa Brad ordered one. I guess we'll find out from him, because if Papa Brad's playing this, he doesn't mash it to pieces, you'll know it's good cardboard, and this will be okay to go. But we'll put this down over here. So I want to make sure I say again, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining today. And I want to have you guys have a great Sunday, because remember, Sunday's about family and friends, and that's more important than any of my stuff here at all. But I do appreciate it. And make sure you tell your family and friends that you appreciate and love them, because remember, tomorrow is never promised. You could be here today and gone tomorrow, and never let your family and friends never not know you care about them. So with that, everyone, I want to say thank you for joining. Have a great rest of the day, and game on. Game on. Sit, Blue, sit.